What if I told you that building a really strong, long-lasting home has a secret, and that secret is the same one that a great chef uses to cook a perfect meal? It's true. Get one simple ingredient wrong, and the whole thing could be a disaster. Today, we're going to uncover that one secret, and believe it or not, it's all about the water.
Hello everyone, welcome to ConnectNbuild. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Let's get started.
How brilliant is this? This analogy just nails it. You can have the absolute best cement and sand just like you'd use the best rice and spices for a biryani. But if you mess up the most basic fundamental ingredient, in our case, water, the whole thing just falls apart. It's a total failure.
So what is this one huge mistake we keep talking about? What's the single biggest culprit that leads to leaking roofs, damp walls, and even cracking columns in brand new houses? That's it, right there. It's not about using cheap cement or skimping on the steel. Nope. The number one reason for structural weakness in a home is simply adding too much water when you're mixing the concrete. It's a mistake made for convenience that, honestly, has disastrous consequences down the line.
Okay, so let's really dive into this whole biryani mistake. How exactly does adding a bit of extra water turn what should be a rock-solid foundation into, well, a watery mess?
So look at this. On the left, you've got the perfect recipe. The water amount is just right, and it binds all those high-quality ingredients together to make something amazing. But on the right, disaster. Those same great ingredients are totally ruined. Why? Too much water turned it into a watery porridge. This is literally what happens on a construction site when someone adds extra water just to make the concrete mix flow a little easier.
All right, so to avoid this whole mess, we first have to understand the recipe itself. See, engineers have this specific code language they use to order the exact right concrete mix for different parts of your house. Let's crack that code.
The very first letter you need to know is M. It's super simple. M just stands for mix. This is the starting point for telling everyone exactly what concrete recipe you need for the job.
And here are the two big ones you'll see most often. M20 is kind of your standard mix. It's great for things like floor slabs and beams. But for the really critical stuff, we're talking the columns and the foundation that hold everything up, you absolutely need the stronger M25 grade. And just look at the recipe. You can see it uses more cement compared to the sand and stone. Think of that extra cement as a stronger glue, creating a way denser, much more durable foundation for your entire home.
So let's say you've got it right. You've ordered the correct M grade, you've got the perfect recipe of cement, sand, and stone ready to go. Now, let's meet the villain of our story, the one who tries to ruin it all from the inside out.
This right here is the critical number, the water-cement ratio. It's all about finding that precise, perfect balance of water needed to kick off the chemical reaction that gives concrete all its strength, without adding any of that destructive extra water we've been talking about.
And this really shows you the science behind it. See, the correct amount of water creates this thick, sticky dough that binds everything into one solid, super strong mass. But add too much water, and you get a watery soup. That extra water, it doesn't become part of the concrete. It just sits there, taking up space, and then it evaporates. And what does it leave behind? Tiny air holes. This creates a weak, porous structure that engineers call honeycomb, and that's exactly where dampness, rust, and eventually, failure all begin.
Okay, now get ready for the big twist in our story. After all this effort, all this talk about keeping extra water out of the mix, the second that concrete sets, we have to start doing the exact opposite. Kind of weird, isn't it? It seems totally counterintuitive. If we just establish that too much water during the mixing process is the big villain, how on earth can it suddenly become the hero of the story? Well, this is the absolutely vital process of curing. See, once concrete is poured, the chemical reaction that makes it hard generates a ton of heat. If it dries out too fast, it will crack, guaranteed. So for the next 7 to 14 days, you have to constantly feed it water, keeping it wet. This lets it harden slowly and ensures it reaches its maximum possible strength. So here's the crucial point to all of this. Knowing this stuff is your power. This is how you protect yourself. So here's a simple checklist you can actually use to protect your own home while it's being built. All right, here are the 4 key things you got to remember. First, the recipe. Double check that the right M grade is being used for the right part of the house. Second, The consistency. You need to insist that the mix looks like a sticky dough, not a watery soup. Third, how they measure. Make sure they're using a proper measuring box, a pharma, not just shoveling it in and guessing. And finally, the aftercare. You have to make sure that once it's set, that concrete is kept wet and is cured properly for at least a week.
So there you have it. Getting the concrete mix right ensures your home skeleton is strong and built to last. But what about its skin? What about the walls? Well, the choice there involves a whole different battle between tradition and technology. But that's a story for our next explainer.
Like, share, and subscribe to Connect and Build. I have already done. Did you guys subscribe?